Hi everyone, good evening. It's Akin here. Hope you all are doing great and staying away from the COVID-19 virus. I have only been, it's been a long year, it's been a long semester, and with the whole election things, I was just processing a lot of things. I just needed that time for myself, which is something, it's part of the blessings of this isolation. I could really use all that time, personal time. So before anything else, I want to appreciate everyone who contributed to my campaign in any way or the other. This is not my victory. I'm just the figurehead. I always say it takes teamwork to make the dream work, and this dream certainly worked. I would explain that later. I know I wasn't elected, but I'll explain. So I want to appreciate you all. Part of the people I want to recognize is, Abinit Guzwami. He was my campaign manager. He's also the international student representative in the student council. We've been through a lot together, and he really stood by me. That nice website you all went to, it was Abby. So I want to appreciate Celeste. She was so supportive, and part of my advocacy, she has been there right from the start. In fact, she started it and I joined her. Fun fact. I want to appreciate Sense, Heaven, Gedeon for all their support. Gedeon also ran for an executive position, student affairs. Unfortunately, he wasn't elected, but we still celebrate his courage and the fact that he got a lot of students to support him and to be interested in what's going on in the union, because a lot of it is not nice. I want to appreciate Daniel. This is Deco photography. He did all those nice photos you guys saw. It wasn't my real face. It was Daniel who made me look that cute. And the videos and everything, it was just all on point. I want to appreciate Choosing Generation. By the way, again, Daniel, he does photography, that's his business. So if you guys are interested in anything photography, you're within the city, I guess, or videography, you can contact Deco Photography. I think he's on Instagram, and you'll just find it. DAEKO, I believe. Next is Chosen Generation, Young Adult and Singles Ministry. They were of tremendous support, Pastor Ruben, Dayo, Emeka, God's will, all the prayers. I just want to appreciate every single one of them. Timmy, I appreciate you. I want to appreciate How to Change for all their prayers and their support as well. The Nigerian Students Association, NSA, African Students Association, ASA, FSA, that's Philippines Students Association as well. I want to appreciate you all for your love and support. International Students Association as well. I'm currently president, so I guess it's me. Pat on the back for that. So they all promoted my platform and my campaign on their social media, and that was very instrumental to getting more votes on my side. I want to appreciate my parents, Daddy and Mommy. I really appreciate you guys. They contributed so much, mostly financially. There was this really, really amazing poster that my mom got someone to make for me. I really love that. My siblings, Diako, Sike, Elijah, you guys are so, I really appreciate you believing in me. I want to appreciate Jordan because he gave me lots of good advice. Mr. Anthony as well, and Caroline too, Caroline Cottrell. I appreciate you. We are not worst enemies, as I said in the email the other day. We are friends. We all are doing our best to serve the union, to serve the students. So we might disagree on everything in life, but we have the same goal, and I feel that's a common ground that we can all continue to celebrate and collaborate upon. And also the fact that I love it when people, not quite, but when people say I can't do something, I usually tend to prove them wrong. So I guess that was also a motivation for me. The news came out. Many of you heard. I would, again, with this video release, some people are still asking me. I spent 3 to 4 hours just replying messages today. You guys need to calm down because I have a lot of work to do. Finals are still coming up. But the news was I wasn't elected. So, Autumn Little Smith, congratulations. You are now the first Indigenous woman to be president of the USSU. And I don't say that to be sarcastic, but that was a major part of our campaign, and I don't want to get into the details, but I congratulate you, and I've reached out to her in a text, and hopefully we'll talk face to face sometime soon, as soon as, of course, coronavirus is cleared out. And I'm ready to give her, Autumn, all the support she needs in her presidency. Again, we are our leaders serving students, so whether or not you're president or not, as a true leader, you should continue your obligation to serve others. And yeah, so the news was she came out on top. She was elected with 627 votes. But guess what? Your boy, Aki himself, yes, me. I was like second. I was behind her by 9 votes. I got 618 votes. So she won. She got elected. But you can't say I lost. Who are these 9 people, sir? I'm trying to make it as, because it's not like I'm happy about this. I was really sad at first when the news broke out. My plan was to sleep in. I slept from just 4 p.m. just to make sure I'm not awake when the result comes out, and I wake up Friday morning to hear it. But I just couldn't without the phone calls coming in. Regan Ratmispanas, current president of the USSU's call, woke me up, and he was like, "Akin, congratulations. And I thought I won. He was like, "But you were close." Regan, you played that well. But I had to face the fact that I wasn't elected. But with 9 votes, come on, that is not a failure. Part of the calls that came in was Dolakpo, and I really respect you and appreciate you for your support in my life. And she told me that I had to say that I'm proud of myself, and I didn't at the time because I was still very sad. But I'm saying it here, I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of me for stepping up. I'm proud of me for sacrificing. I'm proud of me for my reckless, almost tireless advocacy for students and serving and volunteering in my community. That is a trait that is rare amongst leadership today. I feel like the world would be a better place if leaders would only prioritize the needs of their people and not just their own egos and self-serving benefits. So again, as I said, this is not a failure, but I would continue to advocate for students as I've always done. I love the fact that I have the privilege of setting an example. At least this is what people have told me. It's not just me being, what's shaking here? It's not just me being, egocentric, but I love the fact that I have served as a leader, and it's something, again, I'm proud of. That I've not just raised followers, I've raised fellow leaders, and I've been part. Again, it's not just me. There are many other students doing great work. Part of making the university a better place for students and making the lives of students better. I'm proud and honored to be a part of that, and it's something I don't take for granted. And I also love the fact that I was a vehicle for the voices of many students who feel dissatisfied with their union to get heard. Again, 618 of them. This is a lot. Let's not even get to the fact that there are probably 20,000 students in this union and only 1,800 of them voted. That's another bag of beans, alright? What am I saying? Anyways, that's another issue on its own. But even out of these students who spoke up, and I'm glad that I could be that voice for many who feel voiceless in their own union. And again, my campaign platform, I stick to it still. I did not run to be the first black executive, although that would have been the case if I was elected. I did not run to be the first non-Canadian citizen to get elected as executive, although that would have been the case. I ran because I believe students deserve a union that works for them. And the fact that we all pay into this union, we might as well get our money's worth of services. And so, I stick to it to make the USSU the union that we students need it to be. And again, leadership is not only in position. Position is only a platform to amplify your leadership. Leadership is all about influence, and I've always done this right from the beginning of my life, quite frankly. And I would only continue in this endeavor. In this coming year, I plan to run to be in the student council as role as international students representative again. And even if I don't get elected again, it's not about the position. It's about the heart for service. And everyone who knows me knows that. In fact, it's my service that got me into some of the positions I am now, not the other way around. So even if you take the leadership, the positions away, I'm still a person of influence, and I'm still a person with a heart for people. And hopefully that would get me far in politics. Just watch out here. I'll catch you up to speed. So yeah, and also the fact that they will take us much seriously right now. So if I'm in the student council and I make a motion or I make a suggestion, they will be like, this guy has got 618 students behind him. We better pay attention. Yeah, you better pay attention. So, and again, it's just 9 votes. So I didn't lose, although I'm not elected. And neither did you lose my supporters. Many of you who stood by me and who believed in my dreams to help represent students. You didn't lose. Because this is a democratic system. Your voices are still going to be heard. I'm still going to be here providing service. And again, part of it is I've gestured solidarity with Autumn, and I'm going to make sure I give her all the support she needs. And hopefully she will reciprocate to make sure that the interests of well over 615 students are being implemented in the union. So what have I learned? Because that's something about me. Anytime there's any situation, any event, any conversation, even every shower, every day, every movie I watch, I try to look for lessons. What am I learning here? What wisdom can I draw from this? And part of it is my convictions. They know how much I put into this. They were like, is he okay? This one that he has been silent for a whole day. I've ignored many people's calls. I am fine. I am great. Yesterday I went for a 4-kilometer run, and I was as excited and energetic as I have ever been, because my convictions are even stronger now that I'm not president of the USSU, but I still feel that burden, and I still feel that passion to represent students and to advocate for their interests. So again, this is part of what I've learned. And again, it's about living my values and practicing what I preach. I've always believed that leadership is not in positions. That, in fact, many people in positions of leadership are not even true leaders. And I would argue that has been part of the problem with our student union. And quite frankly, some of the issues we see in our world today, that many people in leadership positions are irresponsible, incompetent, and the worst case is just not having the best interests of their people at heart. Leadership is not self-service. Leadership is all about serving others. I mean, it's the influence, but influence that is beneficial to others, not just trying to get a good paycheck or trying to get your resume better or trying to any self-serving objective. That is not the essence of leadership. And I'm glad I'm gonna continue to live this conviction I have. It's already getting dark, so I guess the lighting is not so great right now, but you can see my face, right? So we'll go. Next is the necessity for failure. I think the greatest popular gospel hip-hop musicians once sang a song that being broke made him rich. It doesn't make sense in a way, but if you think about it, you can't really appreciate success if you've not been through failure. And I stated how this is not a loss, but quite frankly, I didn't run to lose. Sorry, I didn't lose. I'm contradicting myself here. Philosophy can be difficult. I didn't run to be second place. I didn't run to be almost elected. I didn't run to be 10 votes short. I ran to win, and many of you who saw my efforts and who know me, just basically I'm a very competitive person. I don't play small. When I'm in something, I'm there to win. But and again, it really hurt me, and I've been through a bunch of setbacks this year, but this was really hurtful because it's public now. I campaigned not just in the university, I campaigned in, like, on the world stage basically, and everyone would ask me, how was the result? I'm like, didn't pan out well. It hurts that that was the case, especially when I know how much work I put in, especially compared to the rest of my competitors. I feel like, uh, based on the amount of work I put in, many would say, and I believe, I deserve the role. But again, this is not about me, it's about the students. And majority of the students voted Autumn. So be it. I respect that decision, and I would honor it by continuing to serve them in cooperation with Autumn. And again, I've said that I've congratulated Autumn, and I am happy for her that she will be the first of the territories. And I have made a huge impact on the University of Saskatchewan's campus. And whether or not I ever become president is not the point, but the point is leadership is all about service. And that is one of my convictions, and I'm happy to live through it and to be an example of that. So I'll continue my leadership, of course, because I've always done right from my first year of university, even from high school. Fun fact, I was class captain. I don't know if that's how things are here in Canada, but where I come from, it's like president of each class, if you will. So I was in that role for 3 years in high school. I was part of the, because I went to a Christian school, so they had this spiritual development ish. I was part of the leaders for that. I was part of the school pastors. I've always been in positions of service all my life, and this is what I've done right from my first year of university, and this is what I'm going to continue to do. Although not the role of president of the university, the USSU, and something else, I don't plan to be the president of the International Students Association. Not because I'm tired, and not because I don't love to be in that role. I absolutely loved every part of it. But part of my philosophy of leadership is that the essence of leadership is not to raise followers. The essence of leadership is to raise fellow leaders who would continue your legacy. My legacy on campus is not the awards I've gotten, or the recognitions, or the articles about me, or how nice my resume is going to be. My legacy is the number of lives I've impacted, and the number of people who are encouraged to keep their dreams alive, and to try to achieve their aims, and to try to I feel sad that, again, although we were just 9 votes behind, but many people don't still recognize how it is to be an international student in a foreign land, especially in Saskatchewan. I know Canadians are very nice, and I love you guys, but you need to really pay attention to what many of the marginalized groups are saying. Many international students, especially, they feel imposter syndrome. They feel like they can't really. They just want to do the bare minimum, just to keep their head low and just get their degree and go out. But part of what I've tried to show is that as an international student, it doesn't matter where you come from. This is a university institution, and you're an equal citizen of the university institution. I'm not talking about the country, but in the context of university, all you need to be a university student is you have your admission letter and you pay your tuition. International students have admission just as any other student, and they pay their tuition. We even pay triple tuition rates, just as any other student. So we are equals in the university institution or any other educational institution we find ourselves, even in this foreign country. So that implies that we should have equal opportunities, just like anyone else, and that is part of my advocacy. And I'm glad, again, I'm just glad to have modeled that idea that people can really make Canada their land of opportunities, and also, again, I've stated that it's not quite a failure, but also I did not run to be second place, and I felt very bad about the fact that I couldn't achieve all what I've said to do. But the thing about success is that if you have a dream and if you have goals you want to achieve, then you're going to incur. I'm kind of paraphrasing Les Brown. He says, you would incur some disappointments, you would incur some failures and some setbacks. But he said the tough times have not come to stay, but they've come to pass. So, if you're not ready, if you're not prepared to fail or to fall or to make mistakes on the journey towards your goals and your dreams, then I would argue you're not even ready for the success. Because part of what I want to do, since I won't be president of the union, is to get back to my book. During my gap year of high school back in 2016/2017-ish, I completed a book, the manuscript I'm yet to publish. And part of the philosophy there is that success is not just in the results or the accolades or the wealth, but success is about the individual. So my success is not what you hear about me or what my grades are or the degree I get or the positions I get into, but the kind of personality I've built through those struggles, through those experiences, through those service roles. And part of what builds people the most in life is not the successes, it's not the achievements, it's the failures. Because failure teaches you what you got wrong. I was speaking to my cousin, my brother, Elijah Benga Joseph, and he was telling me of how, because he's an athlete, that guy is just amazing. He is I don't know. I feel he's taking after me, except he's much better. He is super talented. He is, I really respect him. So, he was telling me of how in his athletic team, they had a mindset that they never give excuses, that if they failed, they never try to blame any circumstance. Like, I could blame lots of things for my not getting those 9 votes. Besides, who are these 9 people? We need to talk. What did I do wrong? But I could blame, say, the fact that I was sick. I could blame the coronavirus. University was shut down. We had to only campaign online. I could blame the fact that I'm not, this campaign was the first time I had to really make use of social media. In fact, I doubled my social media following within just this month. So these were, I could blame the fact that I had to do lots of new things and push myself outside of my comfort zone. But he was explaining to me that there's no point blaming anything. That the only thing you have to do is recognize the fact that you failed, and you have to find out what you did wrong. And that was part of what I was thinking about. This whole yesterday/today and why I haven't given a public statement. And the lessons you learn from those failures is even much more important than the lessons I would have learned, say, if I was president of the union. Like, for instance, I talk about how my convictions are even much stronger and how I'm even going to continue to lead more even while I'm not in this position. By the way, something else we need to recognize is that leadership is not in positions. Leadership positions are avenues and platforms to express and, to kind of amplify your leadership. But whether or not you're in a position of leadership, you can be a leader where you are, because leadership is all about influence. And again, I tell you about how right from my first year, I've been a leader on campus. Even when I was not in any position, even in my classes, I always spoke up. I always got, conversations going. I always built, great relationships with people. And that influence is leadership on its own. So the position of USSU president was only, I already have this influence in the lives of people. How about I get a platform that would help me to only expand what I've been doing already? That's it. So without the role of president of USSU, if I get elected to the student council, I'm still going to advocate on my platforms. And hopefully, the other council members and the executive team, again, I congratulate all of them for their successful election. But, you are not a student leader to get elected. You're a student leader to serve the students. So I hope you guys are already rounding off your partying for the success and begin to think of how to serve and meet the needs of our students. So I hope I would work with them, and hopefully we can achieve some of the things I advocated for. Like the student app, it's something I believe we can get done real quick because it's what students need. And so that's my piece on some of the things I've learned. And going forward, I have my passion even stronger and the fire is burning in me like crazy. I'm excited about this summer and I'm excited about the next academic year. Part of what I plan to do, I plan on working on my book, Success of My Dreams, creating a new paradigm to the concept of success. Because again, I wrote this book. Actually, I started back in 2016 or 2015 and it's been 4 or 5 years. And I feel like I have lived that manuscript and the results are beginning to show in my life. So I feel even more confident to get back to it, to hopefully publish before I graduate. We'll see. Graduation is something else. I'll talk to my student advisors to see if I can get graduated soon enough so I can go pursue some other things with my life. And I'm already looking for jobs. That's something else because the USSU role would have been a job, but since I didn't get that, I had to go seek for jobs. If there will be summer jobs considering this coronavirus epidemic. And concerning the International Students Association, I don't want to say the name, but I don't plan to be president. I have contributed to raising some great leaders who I believe can continue the role, and I would be there to support. I can be part of the executives if they need me to. And worst case scenario, if nobody steps up, or if the person I hope doesn't step forward, then I would have to take the role again. But that's about that. So student council, student Truly Alive Youth and Family Foundation, I would continue hopefully as a youth coordinator. I would continue hopefully as the choir director of my church, and I guess that's gonna be next year. And so I thank you all for your support. I thank you all for your love. I thank you all for having faith in me. And again, this is not the end. If anything, it is just the beginning. Like some people, and myself included, I used to think of how it's like I'm doing too much. I'm like, you guys ain't saying nothing yet. Like I'm just getting started, and I hope I continue to inspire people, and I hope I continue to make an impact in my community. And just be on the lookout for me. A lot of things are going to be coming up. Thank you very much, and stay safe. Coronavirus is real. Stay at home, wash your hands, practice social distancing.